the results, financial results, as well as coverage of our activities for quarter 4 of FY16, as well as, given the fact that it's the last quarter, we would also be covering the annual results for quarter 4. So I have with me Mr. P. Rajendran, Joint Managing Director, Rahul Patwardhan, Chief Executive Officer, and Rohit Gupta, the Chief Financial Officer. So I would request Rahul or Pat to please share the results.
Thank you, Vijay. The first thing I'd like to say is that we started off the year with a very specific plan, and I'm pleased to report that the plan has delivered exactly the desired results that we had hoped to achieve for the full year. In fact, slightly ahead of plan. So it's a year which gives us satisfaction as a team for a job well done. Overall, for the quarter, our revenue was up 7%. This continues the trajectory of 4% in quarter 1, 5% in quarter 2, 6% in quarter 3, and now 7% in quarter 4. For the full year, we crossed 1,000 crores of revenue, which is the first time we've done that in the last 5 years. And all this has been achieved on the back of both very steady growth of the corporate business and the back to growth promise that we made for the skills and career business, which we delivered. Our go-forward business, if we exclude businesses which we have actually exited, we have about 11% growth over last year, which clearly shows that our businesses that we are focused on are very strong, and we continue to see a very good momentum for those businesses. Our EBITDA for quarter 4 was 132 million, and for the full year was 7% at 712 million. Up 131% year on year, so substantial increase over last year. Our PAT for the full year was 672 million, up more than 205 crores over last year, reported numbers. And for the quarter was 178 million or 17.8 crores, up 169 crores over last year, same quarter, very substantial improvement over last year, same quarter. Overall, again, this is on the back of success of the corporate business, delivering exactly on plan, and the SNC business being back to growth and back to profit. The CSG business grew 18% in the quarter, and for the full year it grew 16%, slightly ahead of the 15% that we had indicated. And our EBITDA was rock solid at 12% for the quarter and also for the full year as promised. We added 4 important customers in this quarter, so this has been the quarter in which the largest number of customers have been added this year, and taking our total tally of MTS customers to 31. We started the year with 24. And this has happened in spite of the fact that one of the key sectors that we focus on is the oil and gas sector, and there is weakness in that sector. But in spite of that, and based on the strategy that we had to focus on life sciences and the BFSI sector, we were able to deliver these results in spite of weakness in one of our sectors of focus in the past. For SNC, our revenue was up 5% for the quarter and 1% overall for the year, which is back to growth. And our profit was at 2% for the full year, back to profit as we had promised for the year.
Mr. Patwardhan, walk us through what led to this stellar growth of PAT at 17 crores versus a loss of 109.
Yeah, thank you. The year has been a good one. We had laid out a plan at the beginning of the year for bringing the SNC business back to growth and back to profit, and we've delivered on that. And our corporate business, as we had indicated, we'd have a steady growth of 15% and EBITDA of 12%, and we've done a little better on that on revenue and a few basis points higher than that on the profit too. So essentially, we delivered to our plans, and that's enabled us to make this substantial turnaround on profitability. But I also want to emphasize that on the top line also, we've had steady accelerating growth. We had a year-on-year growth of 4% in quarter 1, 5% in quarter 2, 6% in quarter 3, and now 7% in quarter 4. So as you can see, the company now is set on a clear positive growth trajectory. And if we exclude the businesses that we've actually exited last year in FY15 and do an apple-to-apple comparison, we've actually grown 11% year-on-year on our go-forward revenue. So I'm very pleased with the results of last year, and we now have, of course, a very well-defined agenda for continuing this acceleration trajectory going forward.
Right. Mr. Patwardhan, just to analyze the numbers in greater detail, your corporate learning group accounts for over half of your revenues. What kind of momentum are you penciling in here?
Yeah, as we've been saying, right, since the last 15 months, this business, we continue to see an ability to generate a 15% top line growth rate or better and an EBITDA of 12%. So we continue to hold to that kind of trajectory for the next couple of years. This excludes, of course, if we do any inorganic activity, which may add on to that.
What is your order book and deal pipeline currently, and can you walk us through the key B2B deals which are in the works?
Well, I can't name customers, but we had 4 new customers that were added in this quarter. One of them we were able to publicize, which is Oshkosh Industries. This is a manufacturing company in the US, which does a lot of very high-end engineering equipment for many different sectors. That's a comprehensive deal supporting them on their training outsourcing worldwide. And we have 3 other customers. One is a bank, one is in the technology space, and the 4th one I don't remember offhand. But these are all important customers reflecting the kind of profile that we are targeted on. The 4th customer is actually a government authority focused on financial services in Europe. Our order book grew 28% vis-a-vis last year. Our order intake for the year grew 28% vis-a-vis last year. So that is in excess of our revenue growth rate, which is also a very good sign.
Fair point. Traction has been seen in your managed training services and the client and deal wins as well. What is the kind of contribution that you're building in from important contracts like the one from Citibank in particular?
We won't be able to give specific numbers around specific contracts, but all I would say is that since those contracts started only in the middle of this year, in the initial couple of quarters, you have mainly transition activity going on. So the real revenues start kicking in by quarter 3, quarter 4 onwards. And then based on the track record, obviously there's a potential to grow these revenues much larger, given that the global spend of Citibank on training is very, very substantial.
Right. So, give me a sense, if you can't really spell out individual numbers, what is the kind of guidance that you're setting out for the full year when it comes to your top and bottom line both?
Yeah, so for the CLG business, as I mentioned a little while ago, we are looking at achieving at least 15% growth on the top line and a 12% EBITDA.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.